VFC Archery. So today I wanted to discuss a show that was on TV called The Deadliest Warrior, and there was an episode where the Mongol fought against the Comanche, probably the best matchup in that whole 3 years that show was on the air. My reason for talking about this specific episode was the fact that the Mongols were defeated in the simulation and in the show by the Comanche. So that's not to say that the Comanche weren't an impressive warrior race, very similar to the Mongols. And man for man, they were as courageous, and they had weapons and tools at that time and that place that made them fearsome fighters. But my issue with the episode really boils down to one thing: the two bows that were used. Clearly, anybody that knew anything about archery or understood the weapons at the time of both of those groups, even though they were hundreds of years apart, knew that they'd made a callous error, probably one of the biggest miscalculations in 3 years on that show. The Mongols used this bow with draw weights between 90 to 150 pounds. The Comanche wouldn't be able to stress this type of bow much more than 60 or 70 pounds, because this is a bow made of horn, sinew, and also wood, whereas this is just a self bow made out of Osage orange, which happens to be the best bow wood in the world. That's my opinion, but I've made many bows and this is my go-to wood. The problem was this bow here, which is 44 pounds actually, that in Mongol days would have been a child's bow. These bows, this draw weight comparison would have pitted Comanche men versus Mongol children. A bow like this would never have ended up in a battle. Basically anything over 75 pounds would be, I guess, a military grade. 90 was kind of the cutoff limit for a lot of these bows. But like a bow that's 40, 50, 60 pounds, which is what the Comanche would have shot, it's nothing compared to the power in one of these Turkish or Mongol. This happens to be a Turkish bow, but the Mongol bow was made very similar to that. So I wanted to point out the fact that you know, sometimes when you watch something on TV and an episode like this, which was very well done, they just missed the biggest piece of the puzzle. This weapon was the one that makes the difference. All the other weapons combined wouldn't have had the same effect as these two weapons. And I'll tell you, if the Mongols would have had this bow right here, the world would be drastically different today, because those conquests more than likely wouldn't have happened, and they would have had to change their tactics and their techniques, because this bow with an arrow shot from it is not going to penetrate armor. This thing, somewhere around between 90 and 130 pounds or more, is going to penetrate armor. So that's the thing about these bows. These things could penetrate armor at 50 yards. In today's day and age, if you would have had these two bows and you would have said, let's have a mock battle like they did on the show, yeah, the outcome might have been pretty close in a sense, because, I mean, they're not taxing this horn bow to the point that they're taxing this bow to gain efficiencies. Anybody that's interested in military history, if you haven't studied the Mongols, then you really have missed these bows to see what they can do. Once again, Vern from VFC Archery, and thanks for watching.